Right, up next it's Diane, and she's a little bit vexed about modern speed limits. Off you go, Diane.
The 20-mile-per-hour speed limit was brought in to reduce collisions and injury caused by them. But we're not thinking about all the people who are injured inside their cars who are dying of boredom. Let's remember that they said, oh, it will slightly increase your journey time. Oh, because that's what we all want, isn't it? An increased commute, because we all know that increasing commuting leads to depression. I mean, have you ever met an astronaut at a party? No, because they're miserable. They do say that the 20-mile-per-hour speed limit helps health and it'll make us all healthier. I don't think so. No matter how much I lower my cholesterol, every time I get in my car, my blood pressure is going to go up. Also, the law is applied unequally. How many times have you been on the road and somebody whizzes past you on an e-scooter at somewhere between 30 miles per hour and warp factor 6? No, there's only one place where this 20-mile-per-hour speed limit really should be enforced, and that is actually outside schools. The rest of us? No. They should put the brakes on this idea, reverse parallel park it, and just let the rest of us continue with our motoring.
Yes.
Go on, darling. You would say, Ben was saying to me, I want to say things about this.
Well, look,
I literally have just been done. I've just been done. For,
in a 20?
Yeah.
How fast were you going?
I was going 24 in a Nissan Micra. Do you know how long it takes you to get to 24 miles per hour in a Nissan Micra? And I got binned for it.
Well, look, about 15 years ago, Brighton Council, where I live, probably the wokest council in Britain, the first green council in Britain, by the way, and they had the worst recycling rates in Europe, figure that one out. They were the first to introduce 20-mile-an-hour zones down in Brighton. They claimed it was for the environment, you're going to be driving slower. In actual fact, loads of studies have shown that if you're going 20 miles an hour, it's actually quite hard to stick to that limit because you're stuck in second gear. If you're in a higher gear, your revs are up, your emissions are going to be up. So that was completely debunked. And also, I get a cab from the studio after work here to Victoria quite late at night, and I'm always in a rush to get the very last train from Victoria. It's like the 2 minutes past midnight. I go down Park Lane where it's 20 miles an hour, and if I get an absolute square of an Uber driver who sticks to the limit, you should stick to the limit, by the way, it's the law, I'm late for my train. I then have to spend another 2 hours going home because of a stupid 20-mile-an-hour limit down Park Lane. It's pathetic.
So commute is massively increased. Yes, Albie.
Just for the sake of balance, I will play devil's advocate and defend the 20-mile-an-hour speed zone, because the whole idea of them, I think, at least in Wales, is they talk about it being healthier because it's going to encourage people to cycle more because they're not going to be as scared as being hit by a car, and it's going to encourage people to walk more because the car's going to be going slower, they're not going to be going as loud, and it's basically encouraging people into active transport. So they're not in cars, they are being active, so the environment emissions are better and also people are healthier as well.
But
it's a bit like an idea on Whitehall that sounds good on paper but doesn't work so well in real life.
But it's OK for Wales because Wales has got an aiging population. Their population is very, very old. Yeah, but their population is super old. All the young people have run out of Wales screaming. And Wales is full of people who probably don't have their driver's licences anymore. We must remember that. And also, yes, you might be on a bus, but now the bus has to go at 20 miles per hour, and I've never met a bus driver who actually wants to go where he's going unless it's the end of his shift.
Darren, in Wales, it's a blanket, well, pretty much blanket 20 mile per hour ban. Is that a sign of things to come if we get a Labour government? Are we going to see the roads here just, come to a standstill?
Well, interestingly, I think the Labour Party are fighting like cats in a sack over this sort of thing, because on Question Time, and now I don't watch Question Time, I think actually you'd find that the BBC's EastEnders is less depressing than an episode of BBC Question Time. But the Labour, who is in the shadow, he is the shadow minister, Chris Bryant. Benjamin, his brief is...
My old pal.
I think he's chair of the Standards Committee.
He's not in the shadow cabinet.
Former chair.
Well, he described it as bonkers, and I thought, well, good on you, because I completely agree with you. It is bonkers. People are getting frustrated, and I think actually we saw this play out during COVID, right, where the Welsh government wanted to differentiate itself to prove devolution was doing something and be different from the rest of the country. This is what they're doing on this stupid rule that is absolutely doing nothing for the environment, but doing a hell of a lot for the nation's blood pressure. By the nation, I mean Wales. And I just think it's an attempt to say, look, devolution is actually worth something, when we all know that it's the biggest waste of money that we've ever seen.
Now, Benjamin, question for you as well. I realise you've got an opinion, but also 20 miles per hour, do we really need speed bumps anymore?
Oh, I hate speed bumps. They're
Right?
a nightmare. But they do serve a rather important purpose so that you don't run over little kids. So, it's probably worth it. Look, I don't drive, and that's in everyone else's best interests. But the one thing I would say is that I think it should be 0 miles per hour in lots of parts of cities. There should be no
get out of
cars.
it.
Oh, no!
Oxford Street, the main shopping street in London, should ban cars. I was in Vienna this week. Beautiful. All their high streets are busy. There's no cars. People wander
Nonsense.
around. It's a much
Nonsense.
better quality
Right,
of life.
on,
I don't want cars in cities.